1923 was a very good year. Major news events included the first baseball game being played at Yankee Stadium, with John Philip Sousa leading the band. Babe Ruth hit a 3-run homer into the right field stands, and the Yankees defeated the Boston Red Sox 4-1. Look at that crowd. Calvin Coolidge was inaugurated 30th President of the United States. Also in 1923, women's one-piece swimming suits became acceptable to wear. Sort of. But most notable of all, Margery Dodson Mitchell was born on January 5th. How does it feel to be 100 years old?
How does it feel? I don't feel any different than I did 10 years ago.
All right, so where were you born?
I was born in Bay City, Michigan, in January 5th, 1923. And I believe I was born at home. And my parents lived next door to the family doctor, so it was very convenient. When I was 5 years old, I did something or other, but they just yelled for the doctor and he came over.
So what's the first childhood memories that you have?
One was ice skating, because I couldn't ice skate. My ankles were so weak. But every time I see the pictures of my sisters and brothers ice skating, I would try, but I wasn't very good.
So the first thing you can remember is you were roughly 5, 6 years old, something like that?
Yeah, about 5 or 6 years old.
Yeah.
And my dad was quite a dad. And as soon as the snow got deep enough for us to have a snow rink, why, he had all of us. There were 5 children in the family. We would make an ice rink on the snow, and we lived in a big home. And I got a picture of it back there.
Okay.
And there were snow banks. He had somebody make the snow rink, and it was very big for one at a home.
And this is in the yard?
In the yard.
Yeah?
Yes, yeah, in the yard beside the house. Our house went from one street to the other, so it was a block deep.
Wow.
And it was a big home. Technically just 2 stories that we lived on, but we did have a maid's quarter on the 3rd story, which at times when we had a new little one in the house, Mother would have extra help.
I hear that when you lived in that big house that Christmas was a special time. Can you tell me about that?
It was a very special time because my father was in the dry goods business, as we called it, and they were open till Christmas Eve, and that last 2 or 3 months, he had a very lucrative business. And that last probably 2 months, they were so busy. And he came home for dinner and then went back to the store. And it was that way at the end there.
So dry goods is a clothing store?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a men's and women's clothing store. And it was a 3-story building, and the 4th floor was a storage for the merchandise when the merchandise came in. He had a lot of merchandise that he went to New York on buying trips, and he had a lot of merchandise that was sent to the Bay City store because it was less expensive to ship it all into one place, and then he could take it in his car over to the other stores, which were Midland and Bay City and Lansing, and for a short while Saginaw, but that wasn't very lucrative, so he didn't stay there too many years. As kids, we all got to work and all.
You got to work, or you were expected to work?
We got to work.
So you wanted to?
We wanted to.
Okay.
Yeah, we loved it.
Yeah.
And 4 floors of sales, you had plenty of departments to work in.
Yeah.
And so we all took turns, and my 2 brothers did them, like the household things and that. And but I remember my one brother was, he did a lot of the women's clothes, bought them, went to New York,
Yeah.
did the buying and that. And one lady, I remember it just as clear as if it was yesterday, brought back I don't know whether it was a summer coat or a winter, I think it was a winter coat. And she said she had never worn it. And he said, "Oh, really? How come this used handkerchiefs in the pocket?" She was quite embarrassed because she was a friend of the family. She swore she'd never had worn it out of the house.
Oops. Got caught. She got caught.
She got caught.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it was. That time, and then I remember one other time when a woman said that she didn't like any of the things that she had tried on in the dressing rooms. There were 5 or 6 dressing rooms for people. It was a big store.
Yeah.
And 5 or 6 dressing rooms. And my brother looked at her and he said, "You didn't care for any of them?" She said, "No, I don't think I'll take any of them." And he reached over and he pulled the belt from one of them, pulled it out, and it reached the floor. And he said, "Well, what's this?" She was mortally embarrassed because she was trying to take it, to steal it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a great party was held to celebrate Margie's achievement. For turning 100 is the benchmark of an elite club of senior citizens. It's like breaking a sports record that stood for decades. And this one, like others, she shares with her good friend Helen, who also celebrates January 5th as a birthday.
I'm sorry, John.
Happy birthday.
Like if I moved on,
I have to, you know, it's hard to see.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
That's good. Happy birthday. It's pretty awesome.
and you know, it runs in the family.
Right.
So I'm meeting Ellen,
Yes,
or Helen. And Helen, you're 102?
I'm 102, right?
All right, now you and Margery, I understand, have been sharing celebrations for a while now. Tell me about that.
About 10 years, yes.
All here at Cypress Cove?
Yes, always in Captain's Cove. We had some great, great parties.
And you're both exactly the same day?
Same day, right, right. We had one man that was with us, Jack Buell, and he had a birthday too. But, and he would enjoy it too.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah,
So where were you born?
I was born in Louisiana. I'm a Cajun.
You're a Cajun. And you grew up in Louisiana?
I grew up in Louisiana, right,
Yeah,
right.
you know how to say Louisiana.
I know how to say Louisiana, right? That's the way you say it.
Happy birthday.
Thank you so much.
My sister went to Ward Belmont, which was a girls' school in the Midwest somewhere. I've forgotten where it was. You know, she went to Ward Belmont, and Dad said I could go anywhere I wanted, except I could not go to Ward Belmont.
Okay.
My sister was, I sort of looked up to her quite a bit, and anything she did I wanted to follow. And he recognized all that. And so I said I could go anywhere in the country, but I could not go to Ward Belmont.
All right.
And so I chose William and Mary because I liked the name.
Yeah. Well, it's a rather famous school.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
And
So what did that feel like, leaving your home where the family was, the big house, the store, and now you're going east?
I went a little scared because I arrived there and I didn't know anybody. I had corresponded with the girl that was to be my roommate, and I met her for the first time when I arrived in Williamsburg, and she and I got along just great. So it went much more smoothly because of that. And
What did you study?
economics.
Okay.
I got my degree in economics. And I spent 4 years at William and Mary.
Mm-hmm.
And I loved every bit of it.
Mm-hmm.
And met a couple of nice guys that liked to dance, etc.
Aha.
And I wasn't a good dancer, but my first husband, he could out-dance anybody in the ballroom. And when they used to play fast music, there were 3 sorority sisters of mine that used to make a dive for Joe because they wanted to dance with him.
Uh-huh.
And I'd sit and watch. It was fun.
Yeah. So, how many husbands have you outlived?
3.
3.
Yep. They were divorced.
Did you decide that was enough then after 3?
Yeah, well, that was just a year or so ago.
Yeah, it's got to be hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they were all great. My family liked all of them. There were no problems. And I just outlived them.
Somebody told me you had a favorite breed of dogs.
Oh, an English bulldog. Oh, they were so lovable. How we got started with those, Joe was stationed in Europe. And he got one. He sent it home to my mother. But no, that was my brother got one. And he sent it home to my mother, and she fell in love with it. But half of her neighbors were scared to death of it. They'd never seen an English bulldog.
Is that the dog Winston Churchill had? English
Yeah.
bulldog?
Yeah. And so her neighbors wouldn't go outside to take their dogs out, so she gave it to Joe and me. And so we got attached to English bulldogs, and that's what we had for years.
Mm-hmm. And that one, I got a feeling, was not the only one.
No, that wasn't the only one.
Yeah. And then what brought you to Florida?
Mother and Dad vacationed in Florida every year for the month of February. They would come down January 31st, and they would stay through the month of February. And we would visit them.
Mm-hmm.
We each took turns, because it was expensive to come down.
Mm-hmm.
And so we each took turns. We had a week or 2 weeks vacation.
All right, so we're sharing stories about Margie, and I understand you're a dear friend from Fort Lauderdale. So introduce yourself and what's your Margie story, or you can have multiple Margie stories.
Well, believe me, I do, but we have gone back a long time. She and her first husband, Doug. Joe, not Doug, Joe.
You know that
We were
here.
very friendly with the two of them. We just had a lot of fun. We had a gang of friends, but Margie and Joe and my husband Marvin and I always spent together. Lots of cards being played, lots of Just fun things to do.
how'd you know
We
that?
always spent New Year's together and New Year's Day together.
Yeah.
It was just a lot of fun together. They're nice people.
Where did that all happen?
Yeah.
Is that Fort
That was
Lauderdale?
in Lauderdale. Yeah, we met them in Lauderdale. We met them actually in church. So it's we go back so many years. Our kids were little together.
It's good, clean, sneaky living.
Golly, so you're going back to when? When do you think it was you guys
It
met?
was back in the late 50s, early 60s.
My name is Brooke Barsha, and my story of like my favorite memory of Aunt Margie is that when I was around like 11 or 12, I was at her like house and we were eating pizza and she cut the pizza with scissors, and just core memory of her. I just thought it was so funny.
So have you ever done that yourself now that you saw her do it?
I mean, no, but I would do it again. Like I would do it.
It actually works.
It was very helpful. Like I would do it.
Okay. So what relationship is she?
So she is my dad's great grandma's sister.
All right.
I'm not sure what that makes her. Great aunts.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Of course.
I'm Jan Dodson. I'm Margie's daughter-in-law, and my favorite story we call her Nina. My favorite Nina story is when Doug and I were still dating. We went to her house for Sunday lunch, and the whole family was there, and they're sitting around the table, and she had these canned Le Sueur peas that she had on the table, and everybody, they kept passing the peas. Nobody would eat the peas. And she says, "Does anybody want peas?" And of course, I guess I was trying to impress her, and I say, "Oh, I love peas." So I had my scoop of mushy Le Sueur peas, just choked it down, and oh, these are so good, even had a second helping. And then every time I went to dinner at Nina and Poppy's house after that, she served Le Sueur peas. And it was probably maybe 12 years before I finally came clean and said, I really hate Le Sueur peas. So everybody's made fun of me for that story for about 100 years now. So, but that's my favorite Margie story.
Thanks for sharing.
Hi, I'm Doug Dodson, Dodson Mitchell's son. And I was asked to share a small snippet. My short story with Mom is, Mom, I'm sorry I kicked you in the nose and broke your nose. I was aiming for my sister, but I got you instead. And this is back in 1960-something, when I was down with the measles and the mumps and feeling pretty miserable, and I was a very fussy, bratty kid, and I smacked her in the nose with my foot, kicking and screaming. No, I was too sick. They were not going to pick on me. It was one of the few times I got away with something. So, yeah. But sorry, Mom. Love you to pieces. And isn't this a fun day?
So I'm Jeff Milton. Great Aunt Margie is my grandfather Robert Knepp's last remaining surviving sibling. Survived quite a few years longer than he did. He passed in 2000. So Great Aunt Margie has just been great in our lives. We've come down and visit her as much as we can. My parents are Tom and Nancy Milton, who are Robert and Marge Knepp's children. They're also here in Cypress Cove, so we come down and visit. We always make sure to stop in and see Aunt Margie as well.
All right, so who do we have here?
You really don't know my name, do you? Nina Clout.
Nina, you might have the highest number of
No.
No?
Somebody else has been telling
Or somebody
me.
more than 102?
I think so.
Okay. Well, up at the head table today, we have a 100 and a 102. So by my count, that puts you as a tie for the lead.
I like it right here.
You have a good time.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
All right. Hi, you two.
Hello.
What's your connection with Margery?
I am her grandson.
Okay. Well, tell me more.
not sure what else to tell.
Well, surely there's a story growing up with Grandma. First of all, you probably don't even call her Grandma.
No, I don't. That's right. We refer to my grandmother as Nina, and I believe that came from my sister, who couldn't pronounce Grandma, so then it just became Nina, and that's what all of her grandchildren have referred to her as.
Okay, which happens to be a ship that helped discover America, right?
That's true. That's true.
So where did you come to join this wonderful party?
I came from New York. My friend Andrea came from Pittsburgh.
Hi, Andrea.
Hi.
So do you have any Margery stories you can share?
I'm glad that you mentioned the Nina thing, because when I first heard about Nina, I didn't know if that was a name or an honorific, because I called my grandmother Nana. But Nina it's just a wonderful greeting and a wonderful celebration of a name and a person. And let's see, I just got to meet Nina for the first time, and I just want to remind you, Nina, that I'm sorry that I don't play piano. But I can sing and I can draw, but I can't play the piano. I'm sorry.
Did you sing Happy Birthday when we all sang?
I did.
Yes.
Well, we sang on Thursday.
Yeah.
Yes.
Would you two like to sing again?
No.
No, but
not right now.
we can say happy birthday.
Yeah.
Happy birthday,
Happy
Nina.
birthday, Nina. Love you.
Oh, yeah, no, it's just old age. That's what it is. No hair.
Nice, isn't it beautiful? Oh, isn't this nice?
Hey, I need the voice over here. Thank you. I just wanted to thank everyone for being here today, this wonderful celebration, for Mother's 100th birthday, and also for Helen's 102nd birthday, if you didn't know. These two have celebrated together ever since they've been in Cypress Cove. So they have had wonderful birthday parties together throughout the years, and they both are keeping them going. So what we're going to do is sing happy birthday, and then cut the cake, and then we'll let you get up and thank you. I want to thank Walt for all of his wonderful music that he's been sharing with us, and all the people that have helped. Marilyn for keeping me organized.
Walt, I have.
Yeah.
And Judith.
And Judith for her help in keeping things organized here as well. They both have been a great guide to me, because this is my first time doing anything here at Cypress Cove. And don't forget the food. Don't forget the food?
Yeah.
That's okay. You said nothing about it. Oh, no, that's just for
Sit
decoration.
down while we sing.
That's all decor. That's all you need is cake. Food is decor.
Do I get to stand here and see people?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, those of you that don't know my husband are getting a taste of it now.
Make a wish. Make a wish.
Make a wish.
Make a wish, Margie. Make a wish. Go ahead, just put a little slice so I can give it back to the kitchen.
Okay.
Okay, there's Helen's. And Margie, there's yours.
Thank you.
How's that?
What a nice party. What a nice
It's your party. It's your day.
Oh, it is so nice.
We primed the well for you.
As you can see, a very good time was had by all, and I mean all. I had a few more questions of Nina before we leave her. Like, when did you arrive at Cypress Cove? So then you must have been one of the first residents here.
Well, I was. I moved in the week they opened. The day they opened, I think. from Williamsburg.
Well, you should be apartment number 1.
Yeah, I should be. My family has never been ones to seek recognition.
Yeah.
Not in any
Now,
way.
when you first came, did one of your bulldogs come with you, or?
Yeah, I think I had a. I don't know whether I had a bulldog when I came or not. I don't think so.
Yeah.
I'd had them all my life, and I still love them. They're the sweetest dog there is.
Yeah. Do you have any brothers and sisters that are also still surviving?
Surviving? Not right now.
You're the last of the
Mohicans.
The clan, the Mohicans, yeah.
Yeah. And that angel in the top has been with the family for a long time.
Well, isn't she pretty? Do you have any other favorite ornaments on here?
No, I remember when my kids were teenagers.
I like
One of the
Santa.
stores we had was a Christmas store, and my kids were teenagers, and they went over to the store, and I went to look for them, couldn't find them, and they said, well, they had gone out to buy a Christmas ornament. So they have favorite ornaments. And I remember the dress in the lavender dress up there, just above. Jody came.
This one?
Yeah, that one. They went to the stores separately. There were 2 Christmas stores in town. They went to the stores separately, and they had so much money they could spend, and they each came back with that same doll. So, they weren't together or anything, but they were Christmas stores, and they came back with that same doll. And then she gave it to me for Christmas that year, and it's been in the family for a long time.
Well, this is a perfect place for it, right in front of the Colossus.
Yeah, right there. Yes. Even my great-granddaughter, Doug's granddaughter, she comes over and she goes to that Santa Claus each time, and she thinks it's just so pretty. I have wonderful memories.
Good.
Yeah, I was very blessed.
Well, thanks for spending time with me.
Well, thank you very much.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. All of those things have wonderful memories.